after avoiding crashes and spinning, and avoiding crashes and spinning, and avoiding more crashes, then doing a half spin, saving the car, but in another race, we spin anyway. We finally managed to get out of the trenches of Formula 4. We are now at C-Class, meaning we can race the Super Formula Lights, and we've also reached 2,000 iRating. Stay tuned to see my first race. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video, and today we're back on iRacing as we have reached 2k iRating as you saw in the intro, meaning, I don't know actually, it doesn't really mean anything. We've reached C-Class though, which means now we can race the Super Formula Lights, the new car that everyone is going mad about. We can finally give it a go and see how bad we can be before getting good later down the line. And the first track we have to go to is Sebring, which is a track I've not driven in years. So you can only imagine the head losses I was having trying to figure out this track. But eventually, I did end up learning how to drive the track competently, as you are seeing in front of your eyes right now. Here is a lap around Sebring. Not the best lap in the world, but it will have to do. But wait a minute, you never mentioned how the car handles. How am I meant to know if my wheel will actually be able to support this car? Well, I've got just the thing for you, because today's video is sponsored by Camus, a wheel company which has a beautiful direct drive wheel for the affordable price of about 280 quid. And it comes with a table clamp, pedals, and the wheel itself, which has force feedback so good it can rival Fanatec, Moser, Thrustmaster, you name it. But more on that in another video. Let's get on with the task at hand. My first ever race in the Super Formula Lights, and that lap that you are seeing was a lap in practice where I tried multiple different setups and fuel variations and everything you can think of just to try and get used to the damn track. It took me so long to know all the braking points, but we did eventually get there in the end, to a point where I did feel comfortable enough to do a ranked race for the first time, knowing I'll get absolutely humbled straight back down to the back of the grid. But there is the lap that you were waiting for, and now all we need to do is recreate that in qualifying. What could really go wrong? Here we go then. Round the final corner we go. The long final corner, probably the most annoying corner I've ever gone through in a game, to be honest. It kind of sneaks up on you mid-corner, and then you all of a sudden find yourself understeering into the wall. But here we go then, for our first official lap in a ranked race here in the Super Formula Lights. Going through turn 1, down to 5th, and oh dear, well, we've gotten into the point, meaning this lap will not count, but it's okay, because we'll have another lap to do better. We might be finished. We might be finished. It might be over. We're going to start 20th on the grid on our debut.
The estimated SOF is 2,256. Let's take opportunities.
Well, to be able to take opportunities, we need to keep the car facing the right way if we want any chance of getting a top 10, maybe even a top 15 finish in this Grand Prix. 4 red lights and away we go in Sebring, and already I am majorly concerned at the lack of frame rate that my laptop is able to get. So we're going to take it slow into turn 1, wheel to wheel with the car who is overtaking us, but they decide to also take it easy. There's no point really risking it for P20 compared to that Red Bull who has gone flying off to Narnia. Down into turn 2, we're going to take it easy still, just making sure that we're not going to understeer or oversteer into anybody at any point. So we get a good run out of the next left-hander, and we can maybe start going on the attack. We've got a guy called Checo saying sorry So maybe there's been a bit of a collision up ahead. He's actually only 1 second in front of me here as we get into a very heavy braking zone to the right-hander, and look at the carnage on the left. We're going to say thank you very much and drive straight through everyone, and somehow, just like that, I think we're in the top 10. There's another car with damage, so we get another free position. And that is jackpot luck right there. That never happens, but we move on to the end of lap 1. And I'm going mental in my head because I'm now P9 after starting 20th. What a comeback. End the race now, and we take our points and leave. But, of course, we've still got another 15 or so minutes to go. So now through this right-hander, then the left. We get a little bit too greedy on the curb, and that is a mistake I've never done in my life until this moment. I was actually loving that corner a lot until then. I get very greedy on the power, and I've clattered into somebody on my right. And I've got wheel damage, and yeah, it might be over. We're back down to reality. We're down to, I think, 16th or 15th. And now look at that. They're going 3 wide up ahead. But of course, we're not going to try and attack anybody. We're just going to try and see if the car is drivable. And thankfully, I quickly learned that the damage model is a little bit more forgiving than Formula 4 because I haven't been given the black and orange flag. And realistically, it doesn't handle all that badly at the moment. So we can survive on this, but we're just going to have to be a little bit more careful than usual. And that is not careful. However, I did not want to go for a dive bomb, but I noticed that the cars in front are braking very early, which kind of made me worry that I was going to go into the back of Ritas in front of me. And speaking of Ritas, he goes a bit wide at the right-hander, and that has created an opening for me to take P14 here, side by side with the man I think I collided with on the lap before, wheel to wheel through this right-hander, really having to slow it down into second gear. We make a bit of contact, but lots of respect being given from both of us as we're still side by side at the flat-out left-handers. Who's going to be later on the brakes in the quick right? It looks like Ritas has managed to hold it on the outside, but goes a bit wide, allowing me to come back at him. And now I'll have the inside line, but Ritas was a lot braver when getting back on the power, and he did go very wide there to give me as much room as possible. But what he didn't realise is that I'll get in the tow, and I'll pull over to the left-hand side, and look at that, there's another car looking to make it 3 wide. This could be disastrous here into the final corner. I go as wide as I can. The man on the inside, Checo, goes way off, trying to make the move on the inside. It didn't work out for him, but it did work out for me as I'm up to P14. But Ritas will be coming back at me. The slipstream is so powerful, and going into turn 1, wheel to wheel once more, but I'll be a lot braver through the corner and hold it round the outside, keeping P14. And now into the braking zone of turn 2. Ritas must have a little bit more damage than me because he is really struggling in the corners. As you can now see in the background, he does go wide, and that does free me up a little bit. And that should really be my race. I'm not going to have the pace to catch up to anyone up in front, and I'm hopefully going to have the pace to keep people behind me.
10 minutes to go. This is less than optimal. You got a slow car on the right. There's an incident ahead. The car in front has gone off.
But if you thought the action would end there, it isn't over. The car who spun a few laps ago has managed to catch up to me and is now within 9/10, meaning he will have the slipstream. And I'm now trying to break the tow because I'd rather go through the final lap without being murdered, thank you very much. But the racing gods, they must have answered my prayers because Hurtado goes into the wall and takes out Kalia, and that has given me a lot of breathing room for the final lap of the race. But again, the action will not end there because up ahead there has been a collision, and it is Ferrero who was running in 7th place, I believe, looking for 6th. He makes a bit of contact and gets collected by the Renault, and that is really unlucky, but Ferrero is able to carry on with the damage. Will he be able to stay ahead of me? Who knows, because I am not too far behind, but at this point I don't even know what's going on. I've not seen anyone go off, so I'm just going to mind my own business. However, Ferrero ahead, the gap is going down.
You're gaining on the car in front. The gap is 6 seconds.
So with about half a lap to go, there is maybe a hope that I could get him here. Going into the final corner, I'm about 1.5 seconds behind, and I'm going to have to do this perfectly if I want to get one more free position. To the outside we go of Ferrero. He can't really do much to defend it, and I just about squeeze my way into the top 10. We make a bit of contact, but that doesn't matter. We're going to cross the line and finish in P10. The most fraudulent P10 finish you will ever see on the channel.
Great job. You did really well.
So there we go, a very chaotic race in the Super Formula Lights, but learning a lot as we go along. That is the end of today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
What it really means to live life gold.